Insane. Early 2026 shock as Vogue names Wang Yibo Xiao Zhan top 5 global male fashion icons. Something happened in the quiet hours of last night, deep in the digital undercurrents where rumors first take shape, and it wasn't meant for the world to catch wind of it quite so soon. Imagine scrolling through your feed in the dim light of early morning, the kind of hour when the city outside your window is still wrapped in silence, and suddenly, a single post flickers into view, a screenshot, blurry around the edges, hinting at a list that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about global fashion's elite circle. Fans across continents paused, their breaths held in that suspended moment between disbelief and dawning excitement, whispering to themselves, could this really be it, or is it just another elaborate tease designed to stir the waters without ever revealing the depths below? What if this wasn't a leak at all, but a carefully planted seed, meant to grow into something uncontrollable, pulling us all into its orbit before we even realize we're caught? As the hours ticked by, more fragments emerged, each one adding a layer to the mystery, leaving everyone wondering if this was the spark that would ignite a full-blown revelation, or merely the shadow of one passing by. Picture the scene unfolding like a slow reveal in a dimly lit theater, where the audience leans forward, hearts pounding in anticipation of the next act, but the curtain only lifts inch by inch. It all began with a murmur on social platforms, those virtual gathering places where devoted followers of Wang Yibo Xiao Zhan congregate like guardians of an unspoken legacy, sharing glimpses of their idols' lives that feel almost intimate, as if we're peering through a keyhole into worlds far removed from our own. These fans, who have followed every step of their journeys from the breakout phenomenon of that one unforgettable series to their individual ascents in music, film, and beyond, were the first to sense the shift in the air, a subtle change, like the distant rumble of thunder on a clear day, promising a storm that might never fully break. One anonymous account posted a cryptic message, alluding to a prestigious publication's upcoming announcement, the kind that crowns icons and reshapes perceptions overnight, but without naming names, leaving room for speculation to bloom wildly. Was this tied to the recent sightings of Wang Yibo at international events, his effortless style turning heads in ways that whispered of something larger brewing, or perhaps Xiao Zhan's quiet evolution into a figure of refined elegance that has captivated designers across borders? The questions hung there, unanswered, drawing more eyes to the thread, as if each refresh of the page might unveil the next clue in this unfolding puzzle. But wait, here's where the intrigue deepens, pulling you further into the web of possibilities that fans are now meticulously dissecting like detectives in a noir film, their flashlights cutting through the fog of uncertainty. What if this rumored Vogue list, positioning Wang Yibo Xiao Zhan among the top 5 global male fashion icons in this nascent year of 2026, isn't just about their individual charisma, but something more profound, a convergence of paths that echoes back to their shared history? Think about it, have you ever noticed how their public appearances, though separate, seem to carry an invisible thread, a stylistic synergy that insiders have long speculated about but never dared to confirm? Media outlets, those ever-watchful eyes of the industry, began to stir as well, with subtle articles popping up that danced around the edges of the story, mentioning increased buzz around Chinese stars infiltrating Western fashion's inner sanctum, without ever pinning down the details. One journalist, known for her proximity to Vogue's corridors, tweeted a vague emoji-free musing about unexpected duos shaking up the icon list, and suddenly, the fan communities erupted in a controlled chaos, debating whether this was a nod to the pair or merely a red herring meant to distract from the real narrative. From the perspective of these media figures, who navigate the delicate balance between revelation and restraint, such hints are currency, traded in the hopes of building anticipation that keeps audiences hooked. But what do you think? Could this be the moment when silence speaks louder than any official statement? Shifting our gaze now to the insiders, those elusive figures who move in the shadows of celebrity orbits, whispering secrets that rarely see the light of day, and imagine how their guarded conversations might be fueling this very mystery. sources close to the fashion world have been unusually reticent, their responses to inquiries laced with that telltale pause, the kind that suggests they know more than they're willing to share, perhaps bound by embargoes or simply savoring the power of withheld knowledge. One such insider, speaking off the record in a hushed tone that evokes the intimacy of a confessional, alluded to a seismic shift in global perceptions, where Eastern influences are no longer footnotes but headlines, yet stopped short of confirming any names, leaving us to ponder if Wang Yibo's daring streetwear fusions or Xiao Zhan's timeless sophistication could be the catalysts. Have you ever wondered what goes on behind those closed doors at Vogue's editorial meetings, where decisions like this are forged in debates that blend cultural analysis with star power? The timing feels almost too perfect, aligning with early 2020's SIX's wave of post-holiday reflections on the year ahead, a period when lists like this drop like unexpected gifts, or perhaps calculated bombshells, designed to dominate conversations and keep the industry's pulse racing. As we linger on this thought, the suspense builds, doesn't it, making you question every past interview, every red carpet pose, as potential breadcrumbs leading to this enigmatic pinnacle. Now, let's immerse ourselves in the fans' world for a moment, that vibrant ecosystem where passion transforms into a collective force, capable of amplifying whispers into roars that echo across the globe. In the online forums dedicated to Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, the discussions have taken on a feverish intensity, with users poring over old photo shoots and recent endorsements, searching for patterns that might foreshadow this alleged honor. One fan recounted a personal anecdote of spotting Wang Yibo in a candid street snap, his outfit blending high fashion with an effortless cool that screamed icon status, while another shared a video clip of Xiao Zhan at a gala, his poise radiating the kind of quiet confidence that Vogue has historically celebrated in its top tiers. But here's where it gets crazy. These stories aren't just nostalgic reveries, they're being woven into theories that suggest this list could be more than a solo accolade, perhaps a subtle acknowledgement of their combined impact on fashion's narrative landscape. What if the placement in the top 5 isn't random, but a deliberate pairing that revives memories of their on-screen chemistry, now translated into sartorial synergy? Fans are asking each other these questions in real time, their comments sections alive with speculation, creating a feedback loop that heightens the drama, as if each theory shared adds another layer to the enigma, pulling you, the viewer, deeper into the emotional tide. Contrast this public frenzy with the stars themselves, whose responses, or lack thereof, add an exquisite layer of tension to the tale, like the pregnant pause in a symphony before the crescendo crashes in. Wang Yibo, ever the enigmatic figure with his motorcycle-riding persona and understated social media presence, has remained silent on the matter, his latest posts focusing on unrelated projects, yet fans scrutinize every detail, from the angle of his gaze in a promotional image to the choice of accessories that might hint at upcoming collaborations. Similarly, Xiao Zhan, known for his thoughtful interviews and artistic pursuits, has offered no direct commentary, but a recent appearance at an event showed him in attire that blended traditional elements with modern flair, sparking debates about whether this was a quiet signal of alignment with Vogue's vision. From their perspectives, or at least what we can infer from these public behaviors, there's a deliberate restraint, a body language that speaks of poise amid potential upheaval, leaving us to wonder if they're aware of the storm brewing or perhaps even subtly fanning its flames. Have you considered how such silence can be more revealing than words, creating a vacuum that speculation rushes to fill, turning every non-statement into a clue that keeps the audience riveted, eager for the next subtle shift? As we delve deeper into the historical context, the layers of this mystery unfold like pages in an ancient tome, each one revealing connections that tie back to the origins of their rise, building a narrative that's as much about legacy as it is about the present shock. Remember the era when Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan first captured global attention through that series, their on-screen dynamic not just entertaining but inspiring a wave of fashion emulation among fans, from replicated outfits to discussions on style evolution? Media archives are rife with articles from those days, pondering their potential as cultural bridges, yet now, in early 2026, those early predictions seem to circle back with renewed vigor, as if the Vogue rumor is the culmination of a long gestating prophecy. Insiders from back then, now reflecting in interviews, speak of untapped potential, hinting that the fashion world has been watching closely, but without specifics, leaving room for imagination to roam. What if this list represents not just individual achievements but a collective triumph, a nod to how their paths, though diverged, continue to intersect in subtle ways that challenge traditional icon molds? The emotional contrast here is palpable, the chaos of current buzz against the serene hindsight of their journeys, creating a rhythm that pulses through the story, urging you to stay tuned for whatever revelation might lurk around the next corner. But wait, let's pause and consider the broader implications, shifting our lens to the global stage where fashion icons are not just celebrities but symbols of cultural shifts, and imagine how this alleged inclusion could ripple outward like stones skipped across a still pond. Fans from diverse corners of the world are chiming in, their perspectives adding multicultural hues to the discussion, one from Europe pondering the fusion of Eastern aesthetics with Western runways, another from Asia highlighting the pride in seeing homegrown talents ascend. Media pundits are beginning to weave in analyses, questioning if Vogue's choice reflects a deliberate pivot toward inclusivity or merely a response to market forces. Yet again, without confirmation, these remain tantalizing hypotheticals. Have you ever thought about how body language in past joint appearances, those rare moments captured on film, might foreshadow this duo's enduring appeal, their unspoken synergy translating into fashion's language of influence? As the speculation mounts, the tension simmers, each new angle pulling you further in, making it impossible to look away as the pieces seem to align, only to shift again in the next breath. Here's where the plot thickens even more, as we explore the timing of it all, that meticulous orchestration of events that feels almost too coincidental to be mere chance, drawing parallels to classic mysteries where every detail matters. Early 2026, with its fresh slate of possibilities, arrives on the heels of holiday seasons filled with reflective lists and forward-looking predictions, positioning this Vogue announcement, if it is one, as a masterstroke of timing, catching the world off guard yet perfectly primed for maximum impact. Fans are digging into timelines, noting how Wang Yibo's recent brand deals align suspiciously with fashion weeks, while Xiao Zhan's artistic endeavors carry undertones of stylistic innovation that echo Vogue's ethos. Insiders whisper of potential photo spreads or interviews in the works, but these are veiled in ambiguity, like silhouettes in the mist, inviting you to connect the dots yourself. What do you make of these alignments? Pure serendipity, or the hand of fate guiding a narrative that's been building for years? The emotional suspense here builds in waves, from the quiet introspection of personal reflections to the chaotic energy of communal theorizing, ensuring that every paragraph resets your attention, compelling you to continue unraveling the thread. Venturing into the realm of public behavior now, we observe how the star's everyday actions become magnified under this lens of speculation, transforming mundane moments into potential harbingers of truth, much like clues in a detective novel that only makes sense in retrospect. A recent social media update from Wang Yibo, featuring him in casual yet impeccably styled attire, sparked a flurry of comments linking it to iconic fashion tropes, while Xiao Zhan's choice of accessories in a video interview drew parallels to past Vogue covers. From the fans' viewpoint, these are not accidents but signals, winks from the universe or perhaps from the stars themselves, acknowledging the buzz without uttering a word. Media outlets, sensing the traction, have ramped up coverage with speculative pieces that pose questions rather than answers, keeping the audience in a state of perpetual curiosity. Imagine being an insider in this whirlwind, privy to snippets that hint at celebrations behind the scenes, yet sworn to secrecy. Doesn't that heighten the drama, making you yearn for just one more detail to tip the scales? As we approach the heart of the enigma, the perspectives converge in a symphony of uncertainty, where fans, media, insiders, and the stars orbit around this central rumor like planets drawn to a sun that's yet to fully rise, each adding their gravitational pull to the story's momentum. One fan theory posits that the list's shock value lies in its unexpected pairing, reviving echoes of their shared past in a new light, while another suggests it's a solo spotlight cleverly disguised as duo intrigue. But here's where it gets truly crazy. Rumblings from anonymous sources claim sightings of preliminary drafts, with names positioned in ways that could either confirm or shatter these narratives, yet details remain elusive, like whispers carried away by the wind. Have you pieced together your own theory yet, based on the body language, the silences, the timed releases that seem to dance just out of reach? The emotional contrasts intensify, from the private solace of individual achievements to the public clamor for validation, creating a narrative ebb and flow that mirrors the human heart's own rhythms, ensuring you remain engaged, breath by breath. Yet, as the layers peel back, new questions emerge, casting shadows over what we thought we understood, reminding us that in the world of fashion and fame, nothing is ever as straightforward as it seems, and every revelation carries the seed of another mystery. What if this entire buzz is a prelude to something even larger, a collaboration or event that Vogue's list merely teases, leaving the true shock for later unveiling? Fans are now combing through old interviews for overlooked hints, media is preparing follow-up stories that hinge on confirmation, and insiders maintain their enigmatic smiles, all while the stars continue their poised trajectories. The tension coils tighter, doesn't it, with each unanswered query resetting the clock on your attention, urging you to hold on just a little longer for that elusive clarity. And so, as we stand on the precipice of what might be, the door to this secret creaks ever so slightly, inviting one last glance before it swings shut, leaving the air thick with possibilities that demand to be revisited, theories to be shared in the comments below, and an eager wait for whatever twist comes next, because in this story, the end is never truly the end.